Captain America isn't just Steve Rogers, but a title that's been passed down to plenty of people over the years. Sam Wilson, Bucky Barnes, Peggy Carter, even Hawkeye and Punisher have been Captain America for a little while. But the one that Steve has the most beef with is probably John Walker, the US government's ideal replacement for Steve. They've had a long history in the comics, and now in the MCU, well, it's Captain America versus US Agent. We're going to analyze their strengths and weaknesses, powers and abilities, skills and shields, in order to find out which one is the true super soldier. Who's winning this fight? Let's get into it. Born in Brooklyn, Steve Rogers was the son of a World War I veteran. Growing up, he was sickly, weak, physically unimpressive, but he still persevered and tried to do the right thing even if it meant he was going to get punched in the face. He tried multiple times to get into the military to fight in World War II, all because he couldn't stand others fighting while he just did nothing. Seeing his inner goodness, Dr. Abraham Erskine chose him to receive the Super Soldier Serum, believing that he would do the right thing and wouldn't be corrupted by it. Transformed into Captain America, Steve Rogers fights for freedom and what he believes is right, all while becoming the leader of the Avengers and the first superhero. Thanks to the Super Soldier Serum, Captain America became the pinnacle of all human potential, literally the perfect specimen, and arguably the strongest and toughest a guy can be. He's more than strong enough to consistently clown on people and one-shot them throughout fights, literally just tossing them around with ease and throwing them across the room with just one hand. Seriously, stuff like this isn't hard for him at all. It's just light work. And it's not just that Steve is strong enough to easily knock people out. He's strong enough to pick up a motorcycle or pick up another motorcycle and proceed to chuck it at a Jeep, then absolutely destroy that Jeep. He's even held back a helicopter before with just his pure biceps. Captain America is ridiculously strong, and he's been able to use this strength to fight against some pretty strong opponents throughout the MCU. I mean, even outside of other super soldiers like Black Panther or Winter Soldier, well, Cap has fought against Spider-Man and Iron Man and Corvus Glaive. He even kinda held back against Thanos for a second there. So yeah, Captain America is very, very strong. He's also very, very tough. I mean, Cap knows how to take a punch, and he'll take a beating and still be incredibly inspiring and heroic while he's doing it. He survived massive multi-story, just big old falls, and airdropped down from an airplane without a parachute. And Steve was even fine after being hit with a grenade blast, being blasted off a bridge, bouncing off a car, flying into a bus, then being in a car crash. The man is just pretty much impossible to put down. Through sheer will and determination, he'll keep on picking himself up and keep on fighting, even if he's the last man standing. He's taken repeated punches and attacks from the likes of Winter Soldier, Spider-Man, Iron Man, even attacks from Thanos. He's just going to keep on coming back no matter what. That's not even mentioning his shield. It can easily block bullets, block explosions, protect him from all sorts of attacks. It's virtually indestructible. I mean, not entirely indestructible. Thanos proved that. But Cap was still able to completely no-sell an attack from Thor with it. And Steve isn't just a super soldier, like he's not just super strong or super tough. Dude's also an absolutely amazing fighter. Arguably one of the best, if not the best, fighter in the MCU. Cap's been able to take down an elevator filled with Hydra agents, easily beat multiple people at once, clear whole rooms by himself, and actually routinely one-shots opponents. He's fought against plenty of skilled fighters before too. It's not just nameless thugs and goons. He's actually routinely fought against both powerful and skilled opponents, going up against Winter Soldier and Iron Man and Black Panther and all sorts of people. Then again, there's his shield. He is an expert at using it in a fight and is just incredibly dangerous and effective with it. He's been able to ricochet the shield off of pretty much anything, can hit multiple people at the same time, and no matter how Steve throws it, the shield always seems to find its way back to him. It also just packs a punch, seeing how it's able to get stuck in Ultron's body, bust through Iron Man's armor, and even sort of stagger Thanos. After the end of the final battle against Thanos, Steve Rogers decided to give up the mantle of Captain America to live the life he never could. With him traveling back in time, the United States was now left without a patriotic hero to look up to. And after Cap's chosen successor, Sam Wilson, turned in the iconic shield over to the government, well, they immediately began looking for a new candidate for the role. Enter John Walker, a decorated and respected veteran who tested off the charts in all physical categories. John was chosen to be the new Captain America, a role he embraced but ultimately couldn't handle the stress of. And after beating a terrorist to death in public, Walker was stripped of his rank and shield. That wouldn't be the end of John's story though, as he would let Sam Wilson take on the role of Cap and strike out as someone only he could be, the US agent. Before John ever even took the super soldier serum, well, he was already essentially a super soldier. He tested off the charts in every single physical category and is an experienced army man, a highly decorated vet, and the first man to receive 3 Medals of Honor, and the captain of his high school football team. So seems like the perfect candidate to become the new Captain America. Even before the serum, he was able to knock around super soldier flag smashers with his attacks. But after the serum, well, he's just a whole different animal. Walker is like a roided up version of Cap. He's able to easily overpower, knock around flag smashers. He was casually knocking around everyone during the Vault fight, including Black Widow and Taskmaster. He even fight and overpower both Falcon and Winter Soldier in a 2v1 fight. And sure, Bucky is the only actual superhuman in that, but still, Sam's thrusters are pretty powerful, and Walker was able to rip apart his bulletproof wings. And while it might not be the most impressive that he needed help from Bucky and Red Guardian to push up that big piece of rubble, US Agent was still able to hold up that armored vehicle for a while all by himself. So yeah, he's crazy strong. He's also just insanely tough. And not just because he got a bulletproof shield backing him up, but US Agent was able to consistently brush off attacks from superhumans. All the flag smashers could pile up on him at once, and Walker just keeps on going no problem. He was even able to take repeated attacks from Bucky and punches to the face no problem, where in the same fight, Bucky was tearing through metal with his hits. He even kept on going after being thrown around by the Sentry, although Sentry was definitely holding back, and he took a prolonged Widow's Bite from Yelena, where we've seen that the Widow's Bite is powerful enough to stun Black Panther through vibranium armor. Yeah, Walker is just a tank. US Agent is also a formidable fighter. While he might not be as technically skilled as some of the true top dogs in the MCU, him being a super soldier definitely puts the odds in his favor for most fights. I mean, Walker was just plowing through super soldiers as easily as Cap goes through Hydra agents. They weren't a problem for him at all. He was casually beating both Taskmaster and Yelena in fights where Yelena scales to both her sister Natasha and Hawkeye, and Taskmaster is actually arguably a better fighter than Black Widow. We've seen that she's got no problem beating up on super soldiers before. And then, of course, there's just the fact that Walker was able to hold his own and beat up on both Sam and Bucky at the same time. And say what you will about Sam not being a super soldier or Bucky not being in full-on Winter Soldier mode at the moment, this is still an insanely impressive feat, and one that not many street-level people in the MCU would be able to easily replicate. So, who wins? Who's going to be the true Captain America out of the two of them? Well, I think there's actually an argument here that John Walker is physically superior to Steve Rogers. One, because that's pretty consistent with comics. Walker is right up there with Cap in terms of power. But two, well, it's about the fact that the super soldier serum amps everything about a person, and John was already starting from a way higher starting point than Steve. I mean, we all remember pre-serum Steve Rogers, too weak and scrawny to even be allowed to enlist in the military during World War II, where they needed everyone to fight. Meanwhile, pre-serum John Walker is said to have tested off the charts in every single physical category, was already peak human enough to fight against super soldiers and hold his own. Of course, you can also argue that that's balanced out by Steve Rogers being the only one to get the purest, truest form of a super soldier serum. He is the OG. Walker's version is a variant of a variant, as it's a variant of the serum that was used on Isaiah Bradley, which it in turn is a variant of the serum used on Steve. But then, based on feats, well, Walker's pulling off just crazy stuff. Steve's most impressive feat is stopping the helicopter from taking off. It firmly cements him as a superhuman. But Walker might have one-upped it by holding onto the armored truck and stopping it from falling, something that weighs considerably more than a helicopter. Either way you spin it, I don't think it's a debate to say that Captain America and US Agent are at the very least physical equals, if US Agent isn't truly superior. But on the flip side, well, I also don't think it's much of a debate to say that Captain America is the more skilled and more experienced fighter. Now, don't want to take anything away from US Agent here. The man has enough skill to fight against a Black Widow, and he's clowned on Taskmaster, someone who's already easily beaten super soldiers before. Plus, there is the fact that he's beating up both Falcon and Winter Soldier. So, a crazy impressive feat and some crazy skill. But, at the same time, being able to beat Bucky and Sam doesn't mean you're better than Steve. I mean, Spider-Man beat Sam and Buck even quicker, made it look even easier. Couldn't get past Steve. And Iron Man made it clear that if Cap had wanted to put Spider-Man down, well, then he would have put Spider-Man down. It's said that Steve is one of the most skilled fighters on the planet. He's mastered a lot of different martial art forms, and he knows way more about fighting than Walker does. Plus, even if you give both of them the same vibranium shield, since they've both used it before, there's no question that Cap is way more skilled with the shield too. Genuinely, the only way that you can argue that US Agent is beating Cap is you have to say that he just has an undeniable physical edge over Steve, and one that Steve can't overcome. And that just isn't the case. One, because it's not crystal clear that Walker is that much stronger than Steve. And two, because Steve just has so much experience battling against stronger beings and holding his own. I'm not saying that it wouldn't be a good fight. US Agent is good enough to make it interesting, but there's really no way that Walker is winning here. He's not beating the original. Captain America wins.